This is Global News Morning.
Hey, very good Thursday morning to you. Thanks for joining us here dark and early, 6 a.m. on this Thursday, October 7th edition of Global News Morning alongside Elise Hand. I am Paul Brothers. There was a protest on Citadel Hill over the weekend. A lot of the protesters came down over the hill, accosted some of the staff at the Wooden Monkey. They've been out in front of your house in recent weeks as well. Do you fear that with Phase 5 regulations coming in today that things could get worse before they get better when it comes to this stuff?
Well, I hope not. I mean, it's a very small but vocal minority.
I want to talk about the Dal Party. Of course, that made news on Saturday night. There's a fear now of a real surge of COVID, despite the fact that a lot of Dal students, of course, have to be fully vaccinated to attend school there. What did you make of what happened there, and what do you think could happen in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so obviously disappointing from the party perspective, and I'm sure lots of students out there are feeling the same because they're doing a lot of the right things.
You were telling me before we came up that you had spent 6 years in Shubenacadie. We just talked to Todd Labrador, who was saying, you know, his father, grandfather had to run into the woods to escape these black vehicles that would come through, and it's kind of brought back memories for you. Can you share some about your experience of what life was like in these places?
Yes. Well, like the first time I was there, like when the door opened, there was a sister standing there, Sister Gilberta, and I'll never forget her. She asked me something in English, and I just responded in Mi'kmaq, and I got strapped right there.
And the coroner's inquest looking into the death of Rodney Levi heard its first testimony on Wednesday. 6 witnesses were called to explain their involvement in the case. One witness says a community policing model that used to be in place might have helped prevent Levi's death. Our Callum Smith reports.
After merely 24 hours, a positive outcome to a stressful search. Callum Smith, Global News, Bedford.
Wow, what a story. Good on search and rescue efforts there, and the family waking up to a better morning today, no doubt about that. We move on with our newscast. If you got one or both COVID-19 vaccinations outside the province, you can now apply to add that to the Nova Scotia proof of vaccination. I don't know how to segue into, like, can you give me tips on how to walk in these things for 4 laps around the oval? Is there any advice you would give us?
Well, from what I've heard, I don't wear them often myself.
Okay.
But heel toe is my understanding of the coaching of it. So
Heel
if you
toe.
can focus on starting with your heel and then leaning into the rest of your foot.
We're getting the break. We're back with more after this. Stay with us and good morning.
Cool.
Found it. Heather,
Yes.
great job.
Thank you. There
Perfect.
You
All good.